My students and I have been working on a tiny homes village meant to help transition Muncie's homeless population into a level of self-supportiveness, give them somewhere to live.
Our goal is to provide transitional housing space so that we can make sure that they're getting the accommodations that they need and the necessary kind of living space that they deserve to have. Being able to work on something that I know is going to help people is really cool.
So a tiny home, it's a home that's under, I believe, 300 square feet, right around that ballpark. What we're designing today is just shy of 200 square feet. So we're working on housing that includes some of the minimum needs, somewhere to sleep, a bathroom, some storage, and maybe like a small kitchen area.
It's a two-part course. During the summer, we're developing the individual tiny homes and the systems that go together. In an effort to cut down costs, we are doing simplified block building, and the goal there is that anybody off the street as a volunteer can come in and build this thing.
I've enjoyed the whole process of it all. I'm lucky enough to be working with some of the best people I know. Put our minds together and be able to kind of reiterate different ideas off each other. And
it started with your big broad ideas of, oh, what if we do this, what if we do this, and then it slowly gets pared down into something that's a little more realistic.
Figuring out what the community partners wanted based on what we were thinking, like that continuous back and forth of what reality wants versus what designers think.
And then it just turns into production mode. So, we had our schematic design development, making our models of the house. We want to show how everything fits together, and then our construction documents as well.
It's been really interesting to see how you can start out with one idea and it turns into something else, then turns into something else, and something else, and you don't even recognize the final project from any of the other stages.
So this is a class that is running 2 semesters. So this summer is the start, and in the fall we'll have another cohort of students dealing with how these tiny homes can be built in groupings. They will be designing the full site design as well as designing a community building that will hold support programs.
I definitely have learned some just general rules of thumb and ideas and ways of thinking about how to put these projects together, and maybe different ways that information and drawings can be presented.
It gave me a glimpse into what architecture really is, because there's scholarly architecture where you get to, go out on a limb and design stuff and it'll probably never get built. And then there's realistic architecture, professional architecture, where you're gonna get projects, you're gonna get clients, and you have some freedom, but in the end you have to build something that they're gonna like. This kind of bridged that gap.
Working collaboratively, it's the biggest takeaway. Collaboration among different type of students. So we have students who are first year all the way through 5th year students, and also people who are non-architecture major students, which is sort of, I would say, amazing.
So the students in this class have the opportunity, and have had the opportunity already numerous times, to meet with people who are actually hands-on in the city, in the real world, working on these kinds of projects. In this project, the students have to figure out every detail. They have to figure out how every wall meets at the corners, how the wall meets the foundation, how the roof works. And it's amazing, even with a tiny house, and these tiny houses are 10 feet by 14 feet big. They're super small, but there are so many details and so many things to figure out in a project like this. And that's a rare opportunity for them to be able to, and have to, figure out a project sort of to that level of depth and that level of detail. And finally, this is an opportunity for the students to actually do good in the community. This is something that is going to actually make a difference. These are going to be built, so they're doing good in the real world, which is something that I think students don't often get to experience. Yeah, and then in the center, across that 2x4.